So why did NA fall off? Okay. So, you guys ready for your history lesson? It's not content. It's not anything. This was the start of it. This was the first pillar, first domino, however you would like to describe it, okay? Whatever you want to use, this is it, okay? We used to have regional pro leagues. There was Europe. There was North America. There was Latin America. You had regional pro leagues, okay? What was it, twice a year? Twice a year or 3 times a year? I can't remember if Pro League ran 3 times or twice, but for sure twice. Twice a year, you had North American Pro League that would run for about anywhere from like 3 weeks to a little bit longer. During that time frame, you had all of these teams being supported in the scene. So what do I mean by that? Like, what the does that even mean? Means when Liquid was in North America and NRG were in North America, our 2 best teams at the time, this is around 2018. Look, you guys might recognize this roster right here from Liquid, or maybe this one here that then turns into EG, right? Means every time they came back to North America, they got to play against all of these teams. Now, were all of these teams world beaters? Absolutely fucking not. Hey, look, these guys are still playing, a couple of them. Absolutely not. They were not, but you build from the bottom up, not from the top down. So you had professional salaried players. You might recognize some of these guys, by the way, too. You had professionally salaried Counter-Strike players that were still here in the region competing and practicing full time. And then when the really big boys that were doing well internationally as well would come back, you still had a very self-sustained system where everybody was basically growing together, right? Also, there's a very important note in here. I don't remember all the specifics, but if you qualified for North American Pro League, ESL basically gave these organizations stipends. So what does that mean? Means you made it to Pro League, so ESL gives you a kickback that you can then give to your players as a salary. Really what that turned into is players figuring this out and then immediately negotiating for more money. But that's a whole nother thing that will, that probably led to certain things happening, but still that's important. So it gave sustainability to a lot of these orgs, made them want to invest and be in the scene. So you had like this whole scene that was basically propped up from North American Pro League. Europe had it too. Latin America had it. Now, what happened? Why did this go away? That's where that's the single biggest moment is they did the Louvre agreement, which then turned into what you guys, a lot of you guys, if you just only started watching if you watched post-COVID or around COVID or after, and that's when you started, that's what you recognize as Counter-Strike. That is, and what happened then is you pay a couple $1 million, okay, and you just get invited to the tournament. No relegation system. You don't have to do anything. You just simply pay money and you exist. And they got rid of regional pro leagues. So ESL cut all of this. This team woke up and no longer had a salary. This team was a partner team, so they were good. This was EG, partner team. This team woke up, no longer had a team or a slot. Believe this team woke up, didn't have a slot. This team, I don't believe, had a slot. This team didn't have a slot. This team did. So what for sure that I could just think of, hold on, let me see. We pulled it up the other day. I could show you how few teams were remaining after this. One sec. Yeah. Leading. It went from, guys, look at this. This was total. This was EU and NA combined. Look at this. This is just one side of it. Let me see if I can find. Look. Wait, where? Look how many teams are in EU. Dude. This is what it used to look like. You see? And then the finals were played in front of a stage. Overnight, like, you basically unemployed like half the North American scene from the bottom up. And then that's where it started, right? That is where it started. There were so then full history lesson. So Louvre agreement came in, boom. Then guess what? Magical thing. Lockdowns came in from COVID. All the tournaments now only happen in Europe. No tournaments in North America until the end. And they were just like, we didn't have any fucking teams left because guess what? They were fucking unemployed now. Look at it. Look, it's gone, right? With what teams left, right? They're all fucking gone. Then Valorant came up and said, hey guys, all of you unemployed fuckers that thought you could play Counter-Strike professionally, you can now go do that in another game. And then there you go. That's your history lesson. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what absolutely, that trifecta, which this one starting first, is what fucked it. Like, I love Tim to death. I think there could be more content in the game. I think if we had stronger NA teams, I absolutely agree. I think we lack a community feeling. All that's true, and he was right. He said the lack of opportunity. The lack of opportunity started here. This is when, like, this all went to shit. And then now what we're trying to do is everybody in North America is trying their fucking hardest to scrounge up what they can to slowly build up regional tournaments, because that's what you need. If you don't have regional tournaments, it's cooked. Because if you don't have regional tournaments, not everybody can be the best team in the world or the best team in the region, right? So you gotta build from the bottom. So that's why we got sent back to the Stone Ages. Everybody left us on the ground to die, and we're trying to figure it out. Make sure you subscribe to the fl0m Clips and Highlights channel.